quarterback.
Oh, there's a goal!
Oh, at least I thought he was gonna until he blew it.
Hello everybody, how's it going? It's C-RadTV. I am back with the January edition of Detroit Pistons Monthly. So how about we go ahead and we just jump right into how the Pistons did in the month of January. So in the month of January, the Pistons had another rough month of basketball again. More sloppy basketball. A month that saw the Pistons go 6-10, with their 6 wins coming against the likes of Memphis, the Los Angeles Clippers, along with Orlando, Miami, New Orleans, and Dallas. And a lot of the Pistons' losses, there's been a couple losses for the Pistons where they should have won the game, but they blew late fourth quarter leads due to some sloppy basketball. So Pistons got to get better. In terms of where the Pistons are right now, they stand 22-28 entering February. They are 9th in the Eastern Conference. They are only 2 games back of the 8th seed Charlotte Hornets, and they are 15 games behind the division-leading Milwaukee Bucks for the division lead. The Pistons enter February 5-5 in their last 10, but they do enter on a 1-game winning streak. But in terms of how the Pistons did overall, in terms of points for, the Pistons were averaging 101.2 points a game, while at the same time giving up an average of 105.6 points a game. So Pistons got to do more offensively. Defensively, the Pistons got to get better overall. Their field goal percentage was 43.2% in January, so there's some improvement to be made there. The 3-point percentage was 34%. That also needs improvement. Just got to get better shots to the rim. And free throws, Pistons were 76.9% completion. That also needs to improve. There's got to be a lot of improvement coming into February. Rebounds, Pistons were averaging 42.7 rebounds a game. And offensive rebounds averaging 9.6. And assists were averaging 22.2. Steals, Pistons were averaging 6.6 steals a game. I think the Pistons could do a lot more and try and force turnovers and generate more. Blocks, they were averaging 2.8 blocks a game. So Pistons got to find a way to stop shots getting to the rim. Defensively, the Pistons got to improve a whole lot. Turnovers, the Pistons were averaging 12.3 turnovers a game. That's okay, but can be more improvement there. There's a lot of things the Pistons got to clean up entering February. Personal fouls, Pistons were averaging 21.3 personal fouls a game. So Pistons got to be a lot more better defense discipline. Got to play smart, disciplined basketball. But technical fouls, throughout the entire month of January, the Pistons had a grand total of only 4 technical fouls, which averages out to 0.3 technical fouls a game. So in terms of technicals, the Pistons doing a good job of that. It's just personal. They got to clean it up. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up entering February and the rest of the season. Because we're now pretty much getting into the playoff push. It's time to see if you're a pretender or a contender for a playoff spot, or even for the championship. Because I think now we're getting this idea of who the top teams are going to be and who's going to be contending in the playoff race this year. In terms of how most of the players did, I'll highlight a few players of note, and we'll see how they did. So starting off, we have, of course, Blake Griffin. Had 445 points in the month of January. That's near the top for most points by a single Pistons player in an entire month. So, and in terms of how many points per game he was averaging 29.7 points a game. Griffin played 15 out of 16 games. He missed the first game in Sacramento with an injury. Rebounds, Griffin had 104, averaging 6.9 a game. And assists, he had 86, which averaged around a 5.7 assists a game. But there is one positive in all of this. Blake Griffin has been officially voted into the Eastern Conference All-Star team as an alternate. Hey, not gonna complain, it still counts. Could mean Blake Griffin gets in, since the All-Star game is coming up about, I think it's a week after the Super Bowl. So yeah, we'll have to see. The West will probably win again because the West has everybody. And now they'll have LeBron James with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, so yeah. Gonna be a fun one for the East. Reggie Bullock, he had 179 points in January, averaging 11.9 a game. He had 46 rebounds, averaging 3.1 a game. And he had 45 assists, averaging 3 assists a game. Andre Drummond, 194 points. He missed like 3 or 4 games with injuries. Averaging 14.9 points a game. Rebounds, though, 183. Was averaging 14.1 rebounds a game. Like Andre Drummond, he's had good signs of great games, but he's got to be better consistently. He's got to be more consistent. Same deal with Bullock. Like, really, everyone on this team's got to be consistent. I think Blake Griffin could do a little better, but, you know, Blake's had a lot of good games. It's just everybody else needs to step up. Reggie Jackson had 207 points in January, averaging 12.9 points a game. He was averaging 3.3 rebounds a game, had 52 in January. Assist, 64 assists, averaging 4 assists a game. Bruce Brown had a terrible January. He had only 84 points total in January, averaging 5.3 points a game. Rebounds, he had 60, averaging 3.8. And assists, he had 31, averaging 1.9 assists a game. Like, Bruce Brown has to step up. Like, you're not going to last long in this league as a starter if you're averaging 5.3 points a game. Not going to happen. Either Bruce Brown has to step his game up, or Dwayne Casey's got to make a move on the bench and put someone in that will do better than that. That could actually get double-digit points. Like, you can't succeed in the league like that. It's not right. In terms of other players, you got Luke Kennard, who had 155 points in the month of January, averaging 9.7. He missed some games with injury, or game benched. He had 50 rebounds, averaging 3.1 a game, and 22 assists, averaging 1.4. Lance Galloway had only 78 points. He missed a number of games, averaging 5.6 a game. He had 25 rebounds, averaging 1.8, and 13 assists, averaging 0.9 a game. Langston. Yeah, it's Langston Galloway. Sorry about that if I mispronounced his name wrong. Glenn Robinson, the third, he missed a majority of games. He played in like 7 games. He had 12 points total, averaging 1.7 points a game. Rebounds, he only had a grand total of 1 rebound, which averages to 0.1. And assists, he had only 2, averaging 0.3 a game. So Glenn Robinson, even when he did play, he was completely a non-factor. Like, if Glenn's got... And plus, Glenn really can't stay healthy. Or he's just not playing up to expectations. And he got Sasa Pachula. He missed, he only played 8 games, so he played half the games total. He had only 42 points, which averaged to 5.3 a game. Had 45 rebounds, which averaged to 5.6. And 13 assists, which averaged to 1.6. So on the bench, most of the bench has to step up and play better. Like, the team as a whole has to play better if they're going to be successful. So in the month of February, the Pistons will only have 10 games. But the Pistons, they do got to play some decent teams. You know, they got to play the Clippers, they got to play the Nuggets. They also got to play Boston again, and they got to play Miami one more time again, along with Indiana and San Antonio. And we all know the Pistons need to win that game against Miami if they're going to contend for the playoffs. Because Miami's also going to be a team contending in the playoff race. And also, part of the reason we have 10 games in February is because, well, we have the All-Star weekend, like I previously mentioned, going to be a week after the Super Bowl. Actually, correction, it's going to be 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. So we have that going to be there, which is going to give the Pistons some time off. But even then, you know, we got a lot to do here. We also got the trade deadline coming up. And there's no idea what the Pistons are going to do at the deadline. I've heard reports saying they're going to be buyers and go for a playoff spot. I've heard some reports say that the Pistons are going to be sellers and try and blow it up and rebuild and tank. But if anyone wants to know where the Pistons would stand in the draft if the season ended today, the Pistons are 9th in the East, but they would also end up be drafting 9th overall. I think that just shows you how much of a joke the Eastern Conference is. Like Charlotte Hornets and the Miami Heat both have losing records. The Pistons are not that far behind. So, there's a good chance for the playoffs that you could sneak in with a losing record. I would imagine close to 500 would have to do it. So, I think the Pistons, though, if they're going to make a move and go for the playoffs, they got to be a lot better. We need to get some defense. We need to play better defensively. Need to get more points. Like, everyone on a squad needs to step up because Pistons have been playing some sloppy basketball. Like, ever since we had that great month in November when the Pistons looked like the top of the league, one of the top teams in the league, it's all gone downhill from there. Because since November, the Pistons have only won 10 games since. They had 4 in December and 6 in January. Like, the Pistons, a lot has to improve if they're going to be successful. Plain and simple. And keep in mind, though, when I mention Pistons are right now 9th in the draft order, that doesn't mean they're going to draft 9th. Because remember, like the NHL, the NBA also competes under a draft lottery. Now, I'm not 100% sure how the draft lottery rules for the NBA goes. I'll have to double check. But I think where the Pistons are in the standings, the Pistons' chance of going to get the number 1 pick are going to be slim to none. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the Pistons do at the deadline. I think in the end, we're just going to have to wait and see. But, yeah. That's all I pretty much got to say for the January edition of Detroit Pistons Monthly. That's all I got to say. Hope everyone's a great day. I'll see all yous at the end of February for the February edition. Unless the Pistons make a big splash in trade deadline. Same deal with the Red Wings. I'll talk to you about that at the end of February. Unless the Red Wings make a big splash in trade deadline. But yeah, and we also got Tigers baseball season come up, so that's going to be also something new to talk about. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope everyone's a great day. I'll see all yous at the end of February. Peace out.
Oh, there's a goal!